This is a Christian flag. It is the mark of St. Andrew, St. Andrew's cross. Today, English and Scottish troops, they wear the mark of St. Andrew right here on the epaulets. St. Andrew was one of Jesus' first and closest apostles. St. Andrew was crucified in the first century, and he asked his crucifiers to crucify him upside down because he was not worthy to die like Christ on the cross. Secondly, he asked to be tied to the cross, again because he was a sinner. He lingered for 4 days and he converted the people before him. This flag does not represent, has nothing to do with slavery. Lincoln, during his inaugural campaign, he went either direction, for or against slavery. He would never have gotten the electoral votes.
Amen, that's true.
Okay. Lincoln, he tried to propose the 13th Amendment. I will not interfere with the institution of slavery as long as the southern states were willing to up the tariff from 10 to 40%, which today would be billions and dollars. Today would be billions and billions of dollars today. Remember the slave. The South was agricultural. The North was industrial. And at that time, during the course of the war, 85% of the income going to the federal government came from the southern states. It's not a flag of slavery. It does not represent slavery. It does not represent heritage. It represents our history, our culture, and our love for our ancestors that fought the 4 long years of the Civil War so valiantly that they sacrificed and gave up their lives. If you look at the history of slavery, 244 years, sir, how many years of that war? 4 years, yes? The flag was only flown 4 years of 224 years of slavery.
I'd like to add to his statements that are all accurate to the best of my knowledge. But this flag was used to go to battle. Its sole purpose then was to go to battle, such as the Indians, when they go to war, they put war paint on their faces, and the chiefs wore the Indian headdresses. They didn't do that on Tuesday when everything was normal in the Indian camp. They did that when they went to war. They painted their faces. Our soldiers, our beloved soldiers, used this flag to go to battle, to signify that they were going to battle. That was its sole purpose. It had nothing to do with slavery. And I will remind everyone, slavery went on across this country in the North and in the South before, during, and after the Civil War. Pardon me, the battle between the states, to be politically correct. A lot of people refer to it as the Civil War. To me, it was a battle between the states. We were brothers, we fought against each other. You believed in their cause and I believed in mine. This flag was used to signify battle. It had nothing to do with slavery. That's my input on this flag, and I too love it. It's my heritage. It's what my fathers, forefathers, great-great-grandfather fought under when they went to battle. Not about slavery, but because they were going to battle.
Okay, and if I may add, you have to look at the Civil War. During that period of time, they were using black powder. And it wasn't until the Mexican War that they started using smokeless black powder. Let's take First Manassas and everything. In First Manassas, there was a young lieutenant, and the federal forces were attacking. He looked off to his right flank. During the outstart of the war, a lot of the Federals, they wore a multicolored uniforms. So with the smoke, the fury of the battle and everything, you couldn't tell friend for foe. A young lieutenant said to his officers, "Who is that over on the right?" They didn't know. They did not know. They looked again. The flag that they were using at that time was the First National. The First National was a complete white banner and everything. And right here, it had the small Confederate, the stars and bars and everything. Well, when there is no wind, you cannot tell friend from foe. All of a sudden, a gust of wind unfurled it, and he said, "Attack, attack, attack, the day is ours." This is a flag to rally the troops behind. The same as the federal troops. I'll give you a prime example. The 2nd Rhode Island, during the Battle of Mechanicsville, there was a first sergeant. He was marching with the color guard and everything. A shell went off in front of him. He lost both arms, but he still clutched on to the color. And he marched into battle. Get both sides. This was a flag to rally the troops, the same as the Federals. Both armies meant a valor. They fought for a purpose and a love for their nation, what they believed in.
And I think just to sum this all up, because of the controversy with this flag today, so many hatred groups over all the years have used this flag as a symbol and have given this flag the name it doesn't deserve.
Yes.
Hatred groups have used this flag and dirtied it. It's not what people say or think that it is, by no means. And so many people out here are so uneducated, don't know, so they hate it, and they don't know why. They're listening to whatever it is they're listening to. I've heard many statements that they're in the dark. They are. They don't really understand what this flag means and what it means to people like us.
It was hijacked,
It was hijacked.
just like
Absolutely.
our country is being hijacked.
Yes, sir.
I won't argue with you there. I think it was like up to 68 or 69 that the KKK actually marched in front of the White House and everything, flying the Stars and Bars.
Yes, there's photographs of that, actual photographs of the Ku Klux Klan flying the federal flag. the
Years
American flag.
later after that, certain racist hate groups, skinheads and so,
Fine example.
they started misinterpreting, misusing this flag. That's why the uneducated, because they are satisfied, they are stuck in the dark, they're blind. They don't want to open up a history book and learn the true history. Look, anytime when a country goes to war, when it comes to children's school books, who writes it? The losing side? No, I'm sorry, it's the winning side. And that's only one side, one aspect of the war. Entirely different, my friends. Come out of the dark, do your research, it's out there.
And the young man that did the horrible act of going into a African American church and killing people is absurd and unthinkable. He used this flag as a backdrop for his ignorance. And boy, did people rally on that.
Yes, yes they did.
It's not the flag, and the young man didn't know either. And then everyone fell on this flag as though it's the fault, and it is not. Wrongly.
But one sad and shocking thing is, if you go back 10, 12 years ago, Columbine, Colorado, the high school shooting, Connecticut, elementary school, and then most recently, South Carolina, all three of those shooters, they suffered from severe depression, mental issues, and they were taking the same form of medication. And that medication can cause aggression, anxiety, severe depression, and suicidal. So, that tells you something there too.
Mass murder pills.
But yeah, this flag has been truly misrepresented. And it's heartbreaking for people. I've been a reenactor for 10 years, and I've studied, I've talked to a lot of people, and I know without a doubt that this flag has been truly misrepresented. And it's wrong to try to take someone's history from them like they're trying to do here with these people. Me, it's really wrong.
Thank you, gentlemen. Wow. Is there anywhere that you would recommend for like a book or a website where someone such as I can brush up on our history that is a trusted history, or a book of trusted where I can learn more about
I would say the best thing is to come to reenactments events.
Yes,
Get to know
absolutely.
people, become friendly. I've been doing Civil War reenactment for 21 years, and you may be able to tell I'm not Southern born. I'm Boston born and raised. But I took my head out of my, excuse me, language, but, so
right.
I educated myself. I learned the true history. It's not just getting on horseback. It's not, riding, having a good time, killing Yankees, so-and-so. Well, I am forming it when I got to the true side.
Well, you've killed some gray coats too.
And
I
it's
know
not
you
the-
have a blue uniform.
Yeah,
Every good reenactor has both uniforms.
I have to put it on sometimes to balance it out, but I get a 3-4 day in.
Yeah, right. That's right.
It's not just the camaraderie that goes on Friday, Saturday nights, camp, sitting there with your friends, drinking some apple pie and stuff. It's
We'll see
today
you.
it's teaching the truth, teaching the history, trying to educate it the ones
For what it really was. And he's absolutely right. Reenactments are good in the aspect that I've sat around campfires, after hours and after
Love
every,
this flag.
all the ones leave. And I sit with these people, some of them older than me, and they've been doing this for 21 years, 30 years, however long.
Yes.
And they are historians, and they've studied, and they know. And you sit there and listen to what they say and what they talk about. I've learned so much just sitting around that campfire, talking to these people. He has some good ideas. Reenactments are a good place to go.
Say the best.
Yeah, that'd probably be the best way. There's a lot of museums out there that offer pretty good information that's for the most part accurate.
If you want to go to literature, if you want to learn the truth though, go to books that are written by Southern authors.
Southern office, okay.
Yeah. They will teach our side of the story, why slavery, state rights, raising the tariff.
That's what the war was about, states' rights.
Yeah.
I'm just going to jump in and just make some examples, We in the South like sweet tea. Everybody knows that. We like fried chicken. Some of us like to eat it on the front. Some of us like to eat it on the front porch. Some of us like to eat it on the back porch. In my opinion, my humble opinion, the Lincoln in the North wanted to tell me where I could eat my chicken, not on the front of the porch, but on the back porch. He wanted to tell me how sweet I could drink my tea. He wanted to change my way of life. And that's what it was about, to me personally. This is just my humble opinion. And I didn't want that. We didn't want it. We wanted our tea just how we liked it. We wanted to eat the chicken on the front porch and not the back. Leave us alone and let us live our lives the way we are. Unfortunately, there were people that were slaves. That was horrible. No man should never own another, or a woman for that matter. Ever. Shouldn't have happened then, shouldn't happen now. But it did. It happened all over the country, not just in the South. So why beat us up for it's hypocritical. You're going to beat us up for what you're guilty of yourselves. It was about states' rights. It wasn't about slavery. They wanted to own the South. That's what it was. Lincoln wanted to own the South. And we didn't want it the way they wanted it. And I really believe we would not be in the shape that we're in today had the South won the war. That's just my opinion.
But then again, when you talk about slavery, first of all, who was it that sold the slaves?
Very interesting.
It was the Africans when
Yes.
they went to
Yeah,
war.
they sold their own
Tribal
slaves.
warfare
They
and everything.
sold their own people.
They sold their own people. First to the Dutch, Holland, England and so, throughout Europe. And then they started coming here, selling them the slave laws. Who prospered the most in the sales of slaveries? It was the Baptists. Did they not? Yes. Slavery, yes, it was a bad institution. The 224 years of slavery. But if we did not go to war, slave institution would have ended within 50 years or so. Okay, Robert E. Lee, when he got married, he inherited 200 slaves through his wife. He freed his slaves before the war. Okay, Robert E. Lee, he was asked to be overall commander of the Northern forces. I will not draw my sword against my home state, Virginia. Grant, after the war, 2 terms as America's president, he was asked, why did he not free his slaves? Good help is hard to find.
Yes, that's true. That's true. And I have to add to what he says is, everyone knows General Stonewall Jackson.
Oh, yes.
General
Please,
Stonewall
please.
Jackson. You probably already know what I'm going to say.
I do.
Stonewall Jackson felt sorry for children of color. They could not read or write because they couldn't. So do you know what he did? He built a school, a small one-room schoolhouse. I'm not exactly sure where he did that.
Lexington,
Was it?
Lexington, Virginia.
For black children to learn to read and write. Now, is he a racist? After hearing that,
No.
and that is the truth. He built a school for
And
kids.
either a Lutheran or a Methodist church. Yes, it was.
But you know, you ask some of these people that rode by here today with their thumbs down and acting while we stood here silently and just held our flags, and they were the aggressors. There it is again, aggressors. We didn't do anything. We were just standing here peacefully. But you know, this man took his own time of it and his own money, and he built this school for these children, which I just find, and he's by no means a racist, but they will tell you that he was. These people that rode by here, thumbs down, they'll tell you Stonewall Jackson was a racist because he fought under this flag and he wore this uniform. You know, it's just ridiculous that people don't open up a book and find out for yourself, or go to reenactments, or like you've just asked, where can I go to learn? Hopefully you'll take this with our advice and try to do that.
Well,
You know, you obviously document things. Man, that's an awesome place to go. You can have just a little stupid throwaway camera, and you can get some of the best pictures that you'll ever get because it's just there. It's the perfect place to do it. You don't have to have anything great to get awesome material and information.
are you both still active reenactors?
I have retired. Semi-retired. I'll always support events like this and living histories and things, but I used to be full-fledged. I did 14, 15 events a year, and that's traveling up and down the eastern seaboard. I got a little tired, but I'll never give it up. It's in my blood, and I think it's important that the public knows the truth. So I think God has put me here. Maybe this is one of my duties to do this, and so I'll fulfill it. I'll always be active in some kind of way.
Right on, Godspeed.
Thank you, sir.
Can we get your names, please?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. James McGarr. M-C-G-A-R-R. James McGarr.
I am Hugh, H-U-G-H, Hall, H-A-L-L. I am semi-retired, but I did recently captain a battery, McClanahan's battery, McClanahan of the AMV, Army of Northern Virginia.
Nice to meet patriots.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You're our patron.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you guys for your time to
My name's
to
Joey.
ask
Thank
the
you very much.
questions.
Thank you. Thank you.